action, what we can be. Life with no distractions, we'll get away. This is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's go, let's be free with me. Be free. Not looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche. We're on the run, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free.
All right, welcome to.
So I was outside cleaning my truck.
Hey, how about now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right, I'm your host, Nathan Amaral. Welcome to CRUSHIN COVID Daily. I am the creator of the Fearless Millionaire. It is a brand and it's a community of people who are getting more clarity, who are getting more, building up on their confidence and gaining more cash flow than anything else in the real estate investing industry. It's a really great group of people who are becoming more free mentally first, and then as they dive into real estate. So we had a few glitches here this morning, but we're up and running, and I'm gonna tell you it's been a glitchy morning. Let's just put it that way. One of the first things was last night when I was leaving my studio. This is my studio right now. When I was leaving my studio, I left the keys. It's like a habit I do. I leave the keys in the door, right? So I know where the keys are, right? Have you ever lost your keys? Right. So if you've ever lost your keys, I usually tend not to. That doesn't happen to me too often, unless my son grabs it and runs around the house with it. But normally I leave the keys inside the door, or it's if I'm at home, it's in a certain spot, and I know where to get it all the time. So I was in the studio, but I left very quickly yesterday, and I still call this a studio. And I left very quickly, and as I'm shutting the door and I hear the bolt click, well, guess what? I left the keys in the door shut and locked out. So and by the way, this isn't the first time that this has happened. There was another time where I locked, and it was just like 2 or 3 weeks ago, where I was locked out of my home office studio. And so I thought it was going to be an easy fix. This morning, I'm here early in the morning, and the young guy from the management company comes over and he sticks his key inside. And I'm thinking the keys were, maybe in my bag, because my bag was still here. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's in my bag or something. He's putting in the key, it's not turning. And I'm thinking, oh, it's exactly where I left the keys, right in the door. So he couldn't do it. So we had to wait another 2 hours for a locksmith to come. So during those 2 hours, I'm like, okay, great. So let me go do the things I needed to get done. I had to go to 2 banks. Then I got back over here at around midday, and the locksmith guy comes. He comes here, and he literally comes with just I don't have one. It's like I have one. I'm looking for one. He comes with a piece of plastic. Okay, it was how would I describe this? Multi-layered, hard, bendable plastic. He comes in, he kind of pushes the door in a little bit, sticks the plastic inside, and asks the other guy to kind of wiggle the door a little bit. As he's flipping up this plastic, the other kid is banging on the door pops open, and voila, we're inside. And it was really easy. It wasn't that difficult, but we were in, and we were at it, and you know, there was the keys stuck in the door where they usually are. So yeah, fun times, fun times. Guys, thanks so much for joining in as well. This is day 7 of the CRUSHIN COVID Daily Show. It's going to be about 30 days so far. We've been covering a few different topics. It's kind of like almost anything goes in a way. We've talked a little bit about weight loss and intermittent fasting. We've talked about history. What do you call it? Not history, but a little bit of biography for those who don't know me. And then we've also talked about, what do you call it? Geez, I'm just like spacing out today. Real estate investing. We've covered a few different things. 10 mistakes investors make when they get started. We've covered how to get started legally. And today we're going to also be talking about real estate based because by, I want to say, popular demand, you guys have requested. One of them has been my good friend Aaron asked me to do this topic, and I've got a few other people emails that came in for the same topic. So we are going to cover today short-term rentals. We're going to cover today short-term rentals. Now, I want to know if you are new to our CRUSHIN COVID Daily Show. Just post new in the comment section. And yep, when I see the comment section, let me get that up here. There we go. All right. If you're new here and you haven't been with us before, just throw new so I can say hello, and I can welcome you to our show. If you've been with us for a little bit, that's great too. That's awesome. Great to have you back. Awesome. So yeah, so got locked out. That was really that was fun. That was really interesting and fun. And you know, today I was a little torn about what topic we were going to go over because I know I had a few requests come in about short-term rentals. But there is also 2 topics that I really am pressing to share with you. And one of them it goes with real estate, but it's about going digital and living a virtual lifestyle, about being able to be anywhere and all that kind of good stuff. So I am going to cover that one tomorrow. I am going to cover that tomorrow about going digital and how you can go digital in your life and in your business. And I'm going to cover some things that I have done over the years to make that happen, because let me tell you, it's definitely a transition. So I'm going to share with you how you can go digital in your, or virtual in your personal life, but also in your business. I'm going to share some great strategies with you that can help out. Okay. All right. So Aaron's really excited about today's broadcast. Hey, short-term rentals. Hey man, your request came in when you talked about it. Here it is. I also got a few emails about it too. Because people were requesting short-term rentals. I guess it's a topic on both ends of the spectrum about possibility of getting into it, but also, oh no, what do I do? My short-term rentals are empty. So that's true also. So that's what we're going to cover today, short-term rentals. So first, let's kind of go over kind of what's happening, right? We got a very unique situation on our hands, right? We got COVID-19, right? That's what we're here talking about, crushing COVID and how we're going to crush COVID. And I mean, if you think this is temporary, let me know. Wave a hand up or post a, comment. Let me know what you think, if COVID is temporary or not. Do you think it's long term? I mean, what's your take on this? And it doesn't have to be a long drawn out, response, but do you think it's short term or long term? And we're going to talk about short term and long term rentals here today too, because short term rentals is short term rentals. There's like 3 levels of rentals. There's short term, medium rental, and there's long term. And I'm gonna break those down all today. But with COVID, do you think it's a short term thing or a long term thing? Now, I think it's long term. I do. I don't think this is a temporary thing. And I know there's Some states are opening back up and some conditions, and people are starting to move out. Like I showed you yesterday, we can move out. I don't even know where my face mask is, but if you looked on yesterday's episode, I was sharing that yesterday they made it mandatory. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? You have to wear a face mask, but now you can go in public, you can walk around. There wasn't the mandatory thing where you have to like stay home. So that was be really good. However, okay, so Faisal says it will be gradual, short to mid long. Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I agree with that. It's going to be a gradual thing. So I don't think this is something that we're going to see that's going to just go away very quickly. I think we're going to have like the market, right? It's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go up. And I'm not going to get into where it came from and how COVID came to be and all that good stuff. You can go, do your own research on that. My point is how is this going to affect us long term, right? Because this isn't going away. So when it comes to rentals and how we operate our rentals, this is really important stuff. So let's dive into that. First of all, our main topic is rentals, okay? And by the way, I'm going to do some screen sharing here today. I don't have any slides, but I am going to show you some websites that are going to be really helpful and useful if you are interested in getting started in short-term rentals, or even if you're interested or already in the business. I'm going to share some resources here that might be able to help you out with your business. So that's going to be helpful to also. Okay, so I'm going to do some screen sharing today, and you'll get some of that also. Okay, now let's talk about what's currently happened just recently. And by the way, guys, I've only been in the short-term rental business for about less than 5 years. And at the end of the day, if we look at what short-term rentals is, okay, whether you own them or you sublease, it's essentially property management, right? It's property management rentals. And the shorter the term, the more of a feeling it's going to be like a hotel, right? Higher turnover, more cleanings, more check-ins, more checkouts, that kind of stuff. So it's going to feel more like a hotel. And that is essentially what it is. Actually, short-term rentals, especially with the growth of short-term rentals, it's actually gone head-to-head with the hotel industry. Even some of the biggest hotel chains, such as Hilton brands and Marriott, they've actually adjusted some of their models to now offer, like they've created these arms of their business model to short-term rentals, right? So Marriott, I believe they've created what do they call it? Like exclusive stays. There's a certain term they use, but I don't have it memorized up here. So this has been growing and it has been happening. So what I want to do right now is, and by the way, as I'm going through this, if you have questions, post them in the comments below and I'll get them answered later or after the live as well, not a problem. And I'm going to share my screen with you now, and we're going to kind of start at the top. Pretty much the big boy that everybody knows is Airbnb. This is the the biggest one that most people know of. The one that most people are aware of is Airbnb. And Airbnb has not been around that long. Actually, there's been other companies who've been around a lot longer. For example, VRBO has been around a lot longer. HomeAway, I believe has been around for a lot longer. I can't remember the exact dates. But Airbnb is kind of more of a newer thing. Booking.com has been around a lot longer. And they've offered these types of services. And it's just that Airbnb kind of hit a certain market. They went after a certain demographic of people, and that exploded. The other thing, too, to their advantage, and by the way, you should definitely go check out their story, the founder's story, and how they started this business. Really inspiring. You can go check it out right on YouTube. And it's a really great, inspiring story. And so what they've done is they've made a dent, right? They've made a really big impact in already a big industry. So if you ever thought about building a business and, oh my gosh, there's all these big players. Well, guess what? Even Airbnb was able to dent an industry. And if you have big dreams and big ambitions and you have a hard work ethic, then you can do the same in your industry. I know there's times where, even in real estate investing, that there are some big companies out there. But it's okay. You get in there and make your mark and build your business as big as you want it to be. So Airbnb is a big one. It's one of the largest. And since Airbnb has gotten so big and created so much attention, that what has ended up happening was the market has spurred into multiple competitors, right? Multiple competitors in the business. The good thing is with Airbnb is it's a lot of ease of use because it's right on people's phones most of the time. I don't think a lot of people are searching this on the website, but it's right in people's hands, and they can easily have the ability to pick a room. So let's talk about being a host though, right? Let's talk about being a host. Now, somewhere on here, I'm going to look for it for a second here because I know this is, where, man, I know it's like if you want to host, oh gosh, why host? I think it's right over here, but inside, I think it's right here. Exactly. Earn money as an Airbnb host. Now, again, this is probably pulling up a little bit from Portugal. So, but if, as you can see, Azores, right? But if you were to type in your place and what you have available and you type this in here, it will actually give you some estimates of how much you could earn for your room or your entire place. So maybe you have an existing room that you could rent in maybe your house. Maybe you don't feel comfortable doing that. That's fine too. Maybe you want to build a real estate property management business, but you don't want to use your own property. Maybe you want to use other people's properties. A lot of people think, especially with rentals, that you actually have to buy the property. Well, that's definitely a myth, okay? You don't have to buy the property. The good thing with real estate, there's many different ways you can be in the business of real estate investing with like little to no money. Or you can use, again, remember, it's not about having money in real estate. It's about strategy. So you don't lack money to be in real estate. You just lack strategy. And this is a great example for that, okay? Because with Airbnb, with short-term rentals, I keep saying Airbnb, but with short-term rentals, you have the opportunity to be a property manager, okay? And take over a property, control it, manage it, and maybe either split the fee or sublease, split the income or sublease from the owner. So you don't actually have to own the property. And this is a recent example for us is we acquired a property in our portfolio, and that property was not ours. It was owned on an absentee owner. Okay. An absentee owner means the owner doesn't live there, right? Okay. The owner didn't live there, and it was fully furnished, but it needed more things. Okay. So what we did is we put together a proposal, and that proposal was, we needed to review the property. We need to look around, see what was in the property. So we did our what do you call that? Like, I'm just forgetting the name right now. Shoot, I'm forgetting the name, but if it'll probably come to me. But basically, we analyzed the property. This is not the right word. We took a tour of the property, walked through it, and yeah, that's a better word. We did a walkthrough, and we looked for what was missing and what was needed to make this a good rental. So we made that list. We took that list, provided it to the owner, and say, look, in order to get the rents that we're looking for, to make a good money on this property, then what we need to do is get these items, okay? And they provided the funds. We even provided an additional service to acquire those items that were needed for an additional fee. So it was like a win-win again for everyone because they didn't want to do it. They didn't want to manage it, all that kind of stuff. So, and then we just marketed the property. We marketed it on booking.com. We marketed it on Expedia. That's another resource, by the way, and Airbnb. And we also hired, and I'll talk about this a little bit more just down the road here, is property management. We have a manager that helps manage the properties, okay? So that's another thing I'll talk to you about just a second. So that's an example of getting into a property with none of your own money. None of your money at all. You don't have to have the money, but you have to have the mindset of property management. That means if you're going to be on the property management side, you're checking in and checking out people. You're responsible for, cleanup, any repairs that can be negotiated, but any repairs, right? You want to make it hassle-free for the landowner, okay? The property owner. You want to make it completely hassle-free so that they own the property, but they're just collecting income. See? And so there's a lot of people out there like that. And today I'm going to show you how you can find those kinds of people. So stick around. I'm going to show you. So we went over Airbnb. That's one of them. That's one of the big boys, okay? There are other sources, booking.com, the Expedia family. Expedia has like many different branches. The Expedia owns like, I think 7 or 8 different brands. So as soon as you're in the Expedia platform, they will put your property on all their other websites. Okay, so that's another resource. Those are some of the biggest ones. Okay, next is VRBO. Right, this is another big one. Again, this would look different if you're in the United States or whatever country you're in. These websites change depending on what country you're in. And here you can see on VRBO, all different kinds of stuff: houses, studios, apartments. Even maybe destinations, maybe certain destinations, right? People would go here to look for their property. That's another resource. The next one is luxury rentals. Now, this is from HomeAway. HomeAway is another brand, okay? And they've been doing this a long time, HomeAway. Now, they actually narrow it down to luxury rentals. So let's say you're looking for something more luxurious. And of course, you can find things in the United States, but you can also find things outside of the United States. By the way, this looks a lot familiar like VRBO. Notice how this one, right? See, VRBO has the same as HomeAway and luxury rentals. You notice that? So that would mean that they are owned by the same, probably, more than likely. Yeah, right here, HomeAway. See, meet the family right here. So you got stays.com, AU. You got Arbitel, Holiday Homes, VRBO, HomeAway, right? You understand there's a whole bunch that are together. So a lot of these companies, what they ended up doing was buying the smaller ones out. So when you post it on one platform, you're going to get a whole bunch of other ones. And it's because this industry has grown so much that there's many different platforms. Another one that's come up recently is Home to Go. I think they came out in, was it 20? Oh man, I forget the date. I want to say it was like 2010 or something like that, maybe. But maybe less than that. They're more recent, and they have like a different approach to it. They have, as you can see here, they have more of like view deal, kind of like the hotel, layout, right? So Home to Go, they're fairly new, but they have a much different approach to the way they show their properties. Okay. What's really important, guys, about all of this, and I'm gonna mention a few other platforms right now that your properties can go on, is pictures. And I want to show you something right here that can mean the whole difference in pictures. And I don't know, can you point it out? Can you see right from here what matters most right here? Can you see it? Okay, I'm going to point it out to you. It's right here. I want you to look at this one right here. See 51 and 66? Do you see the difference in these bedrooms? You see how this one has this like white light and it's kind of, blackout right there. It's just like really like, right? And then you have this one right here that is well-lit room, and it looks open and spacious, but it's well-lit. Okay, we're going to talk about that in just a second. We're going to talk about photography and filmography here in just a minute. But these prices are not that bad either. And look, the one that's cheaper has 5 stars, and the one that's more expensive has 4.6, right? So, but I bet you this one has more clicks just because of the imagery. So when we dive in here, right, what we want to look for, look, this is just too dark. This is too dark. And look, and listen, I could sit here and pick apart photos all day long. This photo right here makes the room look small. You actually have to push back a little bit. And even one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to take a photo at your eye level. Okay, so most people, like what they're so familiar with is like when they shoot a video or a picture, they do it like this. By the way, here's a little tip, okay? If you're gonna take a photo, you can take it like this, vertically. Can you see my screen okay? Yeah, okay. You can take a photo vertically. That's almost normal. Most people sometimes do it this way. But guys, when you take video, I highly recommend turn your phone horizontal. Make sure the screen looks correct, because sometimes it takes a second for the screen to adjust itself. And then take your videos in horizontal mode, because when you on most platforms, when you're uploading, it's going to give you that horizontal look. For example, like what you're watching right now, whether you're on Facebook or whether we're on your YouTube, the reality is it's in horizontal mode. Okay, it's 16:9. So, 60:9 frame rate. So I probably said that all wrong, by the way, but you get my point, okay? I think it's called scale. So in this image right here is taken at like body normal level. What would be more important is if you hold your camera up or to a certain angle, and it gets a different view of the room. Okay, that's really important. Now, they obviously really like this light. Okay, this light has come up quite a few times already, so they really like it, and it doesn't do it any justice. What would help in this kind of scenario, if you really want to show how nice this light is go to the other side of the room, shut off the light, make sure it's a bright sunny day, and get it from a distance. That's really important. This is not important to the homeowner. Okay, this is not important at all. No one, okay, you can get these kind of features at a distance, but to get an up close shot, this doesn't matter. This is nothing. Okay, this is like a furniture shot. What you'd want to do in this scenario is extend yourself back and let's get that hallway. Do you see that hallway right here? Let's get that hallway and see how they took a picture of the, let me just zoom in. You see how they took a picture of this and then they took a picture of this? It's like, this is not a furniture show. Right, okay, here we see they really care about the furniture and every little thing that they bought to make this rental. You can still demonstrate these things. It's not like it's not important, but what matters most is like the room and then get these items at an angle, okay? Back up a little bit. You can leave the light on, back up away from the bed. We still haven't seen the bed yet until right now. Here we go. Great photo. There you go. You see how it's backed up a little bit, and now I can see the entire bed with the light on. Now I'm getting the impact of the room. And what would be even better is if they backed up just a little bit, even if you get a little bit of the door frame as if you're coming into the room, not so much, like you don't want all door frame, but at least you're getting a full aspect of the room. Okay, this photo, not as bad. If we get a photo of that little thing down here, whatever that is too much. And I don't understand why there's 3 different mirrors here. This could be a little bit confusing. It should be one mirror, guys. Just keep that in mind, because what this now looks like is very compact. It looks like clutter. It doesn't look simplified, doesn't look modern. This looks like, okay, why do I need 3 mirrors? It looks like confusion, right? So don't do that. Again, we don't need this. Okay, I know there's a coffee maker. You can put that in the description of your ad. Okay, but all this is not needed. Okay, it could be shown exactly. Let's say it was shown at a distance. That's okay, no problem. Again, here's an issue with this picture. There is not enough lighting. This should have been done during the daytime because it looks like they're lighting the room with just one lamp to the right side of the room, over here on this side, okay? What you want to do is you want to make sure it's a bright sunny day, open up the windows, let the light in, and get those angles. The angle's not too bad here. Okay, similar shot, not too bad. What is this, right? What are we looking at here? Right? We're looking at a tree hanging out. This has nothing to do. Too close doesn't make sense. All right. So again, try to get sunny and bright days with your pictures. All right. All right. This is not too bad, but I don't know how far away this is from the property. Is this right in front of the property? Is it? If it was in front of the property, then we would want to get an angle where we can actually see this water from the property, okay, in some kind of way, right? So you got to be a little creative. This person loves their trinkets. Not a good photo at all. Too dark, and the white blows it out in the background there. It's just where I'm seeing a lot of clutter, and it seems like they have a robe here, but I don't know if this is a bedroom or what. Again, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know if that's a basket of soap. This room needs to be more well lit. Even if it's artificial lighting, you can't really see what's going on. Very dark and dreary. I might be in a library. Okay, you get the point, guys. So I'm showing you that one, and then I'm going to jump over to the other one that we just saw. Where did it go? Hopefully I can just go right back. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Right here. Okay, great. So let's go to this one now, okay? All right, and we're going to see the difference. I hope I can zoom in. Great. All right, so look at this room now, right? We're getting a pushed, scaled back shot. I can see the room. It's a bright, sunny day. I can see that the TV's there. I can see some fixtures. Got a view of the bed right there. That's a nice shot, getting a good view. Now, if I got a view of the little lights on the side and a picture of that wouldn't make an impact. That's not needed. All right. Here's a little extra. This is a great reference point, right? Our spaces are open for you. During this uncertain time, we have flexible long-term options so everyone can feel comfortable to stay safe. Professionally cleaned. This is obviously because probably of COVID, so they added this image in here. Professionally cleaned. Our staff is trained to proper techniques that will disinfect before you stay. That is something on someone's mind right now, right? This COVID, bacteria, germs, all that, it's on someone's mind. So that's a great thing. Digital check-in, right? Awesome. 24/7. Doesn't matter what time I arrive. Convenience. Free Wi-Fi. Now, listen, in some of my rentals, I have free Wi-Fi. In some of my rentals, I have no Wi-Fi. And it depends what market you're in. If you're in the United States or like Portugal, I can totally understand. Free Wi-Fi must be a given. It's like a must. You got to have it. For example, in Uganda, we don't offer free Wi-Fi because the internet is much more expensive in Uganda. Much more, like 2 to 3 times more expensive. And the speeds are very fast, but it's much more expensive. So this is where it wouldn't make sense to add free Wi-Fi in Uganda, because now they would be like, well, why is it so expensive, right? So actually, usually the really luxury apartments in Uganda have free Wi-Fi, but they throw the cost in there. Fully equipped kitchen. People like to see that. A beautiful shot here. Well lit. It's sunny out. I got some light here on the left side bouncing off the refrigerator. This is well lit. It's clean. There's not a lot going on in the kitchen. It's clean and organized. Very good. Love this shot. Again, we're back in the bedroom and we're getting a view of the outside. They opened up the curtains. I don't know if they had the curtains. Oh, they did. Okay, great. Oh, yeah, they did. Okay, great. So that's a great shot. Gives us a perspective. Now, if they had a shot of just that plant, I don't care about the plant. I want to see it at a distance, but I don't want a single picture of it, okay? That wouldn't make sense. Guys, I will make a reference to this right here. I don't know how this room is equipped right now. It just looks like a television, but I would recommend an Apple TV or some kind of TV device. Some people use Amazon or whatever. So I would recommend using that so people can connect to their services, their apps right within your TV. That's a really great feature to add. Okay. Oh, I need a water break. I'm over here cracking. All right. Next thing. Look at this shot. Look, they took advantage of that lighting. They got a different angle. Look how they're showing us the door. That's fantastic. It's still in the shot and we get in a different angle. Now, I love this shot because look, we're still getting that same room. Now we're seeing it a connecting room. Looks like a hallway, almost like an open studio, but at least we're seeing how open it is down the hall, right? We're not just getting a shot of just the table and the chairs. We're seeing how it goes into the TV, back into the bedroom. Does that make sense? Okay, so here's the shot that I don't think it's pointless, right? We just got this shot right here. We understand there is 2 chairs and a table there. This shot right here is not needed. We don't need this shot. It's just kind of reiterating the fact. Great shot. I love this because it shows the kitchen before was straight on. This actually is a better shot because now I get to see, actually, I come in from the kitchen, doesn't it? Right? Nice view of the bathroom. Well lit. They got the lights on. It looks like all the lights. I don't know if there's any extra artificial lighting going on here, but it's very well lit. Notice the angle, by the way, guys. Do you notice anything with this picture? Do you notice how if someone was taking this photo standing up, they would be seen in that mirror? Notice how they got a little down more and took the photo. So you can actually angle your camera like up tilted up, okay, at an angle to get this kind of shot. But you don't want the photo where you're actually standing in the mirror and people can see you. It just doesn't look as professional. So, and by the way, another thing you should notice here, the toilet seat is down, okay? They did take a picture of the bathroom. The other people did not take a picture of the bathroom. Did you notice that? Which that can be, guys, let me tell you something. I got to give you a real life story, okay? 2017-ish, yeah, in 2017, I took my family, we went on this, what we thought was going to be like a month tour of Europe. We ended up going for like, I don't know, it was like 3 months just touring around Europe, and we jumped from, we went from Milan, we started in Milan, and we were there for a week, and then we went to Lake Como, and then we went to Switzerland, and then we went to Germany. We just took our time. We went as we wanted to. We mostly took buses and trains, and we took a few flights. We flew into Milan, and then from there we just took like the local trains, the speedy trains. We took local buses. We took some Ubers. We flew just I think 2 or 3 times. And we did this all across Europe, from Brussels in Belgium to France to Spain. We went to Barcelona and Madrid. We went all over. And I love Europe. Obviously I love Europe. So we did all this. And I'll tell you, I got most of our travel. It was a combination. I had never done an Airbnb before. I knew about it, okay? And I was in the business of property management. But I never stayed in an Airbnb. It wasn't until this. I said, you know what? Let's try this Airbnb stuff. And if we like it, then cool. If we don't like it, then Marriott. It's no big deal. And we did stay at some Marriotts along the way. One of our favorite ones was the Marriott in downtown Brussels, right there in downtown square. It's awesome. You literally get outside of the door and you're downtown Brussels. Like awesome. Perfect location. And we did that in quite a few places. We were staying at all the any Marriott brand, and from whatever Renaissance and all that. So we took some Airbnbs. Okay, well we got to Paris or Paris. We got to Paris, right? And when we got there, if I recall, if this might have been the right. Yeah, it was Paris. We got to our Airbnb. And we got it on a nice side of town, not too far from the Eiffel Tower, but we were in an area where there was a park. I wanted to be next to an area where was a park because our previous place in France was like it was like too downtown in the city. So we arrived there, and literally the owner, the tenant was still in the property when we got there. Now, what I mean, that's okay. Someone can greet you. I love not greeting the host. I love it. Like, I don't want to see the host. I just want to get my key and go in. So the host was there, which is fine. She was showing me around, and my family was all just sitting in the sitting room, and we were tired. Like, they were all sleeping. And I remember while we were sitting there, we're talking to her. I'm talking to my wife. I'm like, what is this girl doing? Right? Because literally in her bedroom, I was looking because the door was open ajar, and I was looking at her, and she's like stuffing a suitcase full of clothes. So I'm like, what is going on, right? So it just felt really awkward, and she was like organizing things, and I'm like, by the way, we didn't arrive any earlier than what was scheduled. We arrived at the scheduled time. I think we arrived an hour later. So we get there anyway, she's apologizing, blah, blah, blah. And then she shows me around the kitchen, and then she leaves. Well, let me tell you, this was the worst. This was the worst. I went to the kitchen and I opened up, the cabinet. And literally when I opened up the cabinet and let go, I felt like this sticky substance, right? I was like, whoa, what is that? I mean, now you can just imagine what's going through my mind, right? As I'm opening the cabinet, 2 flies come out of the cabinet, and I open up the fridge, and there is the fridge is not clean. I mean, this was basically not the description inside of the Airbnb listing, okay? And the pictures were very different. Pictures looked a nice, clean place with a backyard, and then across the street was a nice big park. I mean, it was really nice. The listing, everything looked clean. Well, as I'm going through the property and I go into the bathroom, as I'm in the bathroom, I'm literally looking at, I'm talking balls of cat hair, like balls of cat hair. And I'm just like, what? And I pick up a towel, and I'm like, gosh, did she just use this towel? I mean, it was just getting grosser by the second. Finally, I come back out of the bathroom, and I look at the couch. I look under the couch, and there's cat hair everywhere. I mean, everywhere. You could actually feel it in your throat. I don't know if you're allergic to cats, but you could feel it in your throat. Guys, it was so disgusting. I immediately jumped on the horn. Actually, there was one more thing. I went into the bedroom, and she didn't even change the sheets. That's how disgusting this was. She didn't even change the sheets. I pick up the comforter sheet. And as I do that, some bug, okay, I don't know if it was a cockroach or whatever it was, moved, and I ran out of the bedroom. I shut the door and I'm like, we are out of here. There's no way. So I jump on the line with Airbnb. They asked me to take pictures. I took pictures of everything. I said, if you compare this to the pictures online, it's not the same, right? And they clearly saw that. So it was very awesome what they did, actually. They instantly took care of it. They actually booked the next place. They said, hey, check out these places. They're in your local area. They're right next to you. What do you think? And you're not going to pay for it. It's free. Don't worry about it. We will handle this with the host. They actually communicated with the host. I didn't even talk to the host. They actually said, please don't contact your host. We'll handle it from here. They handled everything. My host ended up contacting me, I think, like 3 hours later. I told her, hey, I'm leaving the key here. We just can't stay here. We didn't know you had cats, like multiple cats. So we just, we split. We're out. Called an Uber, picked us up, went to our next property, checked in. It was like an instant availability one. We checked in literally less than 30 minutes later, and we were in. And we got our money back and everything. It was the best service I've ever seen from a mobile app that quickly, from a company who has a mobile app that quickly. I was very impressed, but that was a horror scene. So anyway, going back to the bathrooms, guys, it's really important that you make sure your bathrooms are looking clean. I love this. Very nice. This is a nice picture. Notice you don't see anyone in the picture, which either makes me wonder they either took themselves out of it or they ducked down. Nice picture. Just shows that they provide these kinds of soaps. You can tell this is like customized. They do this as a business. It's not just, a home. Okay, we got the washer and dryer. This is a good shot. Could be across the street, down the road. We'd have to read the description. There we go. So there's a Starbucks somewhere down under, who knows? We would check the description and it would tell us, I'm sure. So, and there's all the features. You guys get the idea. I would say that you guys are probably not new to this, or you've at least used this service before. By the way, if you've ever used Airbnb or some type of short-term rental app or service before, let me know. Put yes in the comments below if you have. Also, put the one you have used, okay? Whether it was Booking.com or Airbnb or whatever. Okay, there's a few other ones, guys. I'm going to jump through this a little bit. I got a little bit more to cover. But as you can see, there's second address, and there's a bunch more. But I want to show you, since we were talking about pictures, I want to show you something, because if you're not good at taking pictures, or maybe you've got some ideas, by the way, if you did get some good ideas from what I explained to you in my experience, like this video so I know that it was helpful, okay? But here's a service, or there's other services like this, where they can take photos for you, okay? Photos on your behalf. They can go out there, they'll get the photographer, you don't have to worry about nothing. You just pay the fee and they'll do it. So it typically costs between $100 to $300. This one's fairly priced. $200, I would say $150, $250, somewhere in there is pretty fair per session. And they get the photographer for you. You don't need to pick someone. They get them for you. They'll get you access to the photos very quickly, within 72 hours. That's very normal. And this company has a guarantee, and they'll tell you right here, everything you got. Additional lights, if you want additional lights, $75. On-site edit, I don't know what that is, but we could find out. Additional photos can be edited on-site for $5 per photo. Okay, I'm not really sure about that. I've never seen that as an additional fee. Normally they just do it really, really well. If you need it faster, you can add it on there, right there. And they also have that for commercial as well, but they go by the hour because commercial's a lot bigger. Guys, I would tell you per session, just an average cost of what I've paid for is going to be anywhere between $200 to $300. So it depends on the company. I wouldn't go too cheap, because the cheaper you go, probably the pictures are not so great. And normally around $200 to $250. They come edited. They look nice. They know how to adjust the lighting in the post-production, okay? Post-editing, right? Yeah. So they will work on that. So I would say $200 to $250 is pretty fair, depending on your market as well. That's true, depending on your market. Here's a service, though. If you don't want to go do it yourself, or you're doing virtual business, you can have them do it for you, and that's a really great thing, right? You could be all virtual there. Okay, so that's the photos. I wanted to show you a few more, and I want to get into a little bit of the medium to long-term rentals. Here's one called Luxury Retreats. If you ever wanted to have maybe a luxury retreat, maybe a few people, maybe you wanted to have a group go out, this is great for groups. I want to show you one that I've experienced right here. This, I've never been a renter of them, but I've experienced this Villas of Distinction. A buddy of mine invited me out to one of these properties. It was in the United States, but basically it's a luxury villa, and they handle everything for you. They handle catering, food. I mean, it is incredible. They have destinations all over the world, and they have some amazing ones like in the Caribbeans. And let me show you some of this, because they have stuff. If you like, for example, sports, you can do it specifically. If you want to do like this kind of luxury stuff around sports, lifestyle. So I'm going to show you, which one did I go to? It was like more of a business, corporate retreat, I guess it would be under. Okay, I'm going to say it was corporate retreat would be more of the one I went to. I was trying to think of like, business event. So it would be under corporate retreat, I guess. And then, so let me show you as an example. Okay, so here's one at the Virgin Islands. It's got 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. Here's one in Orlando, Florida. So like this as an example, it's like all these bedrooms, and you meet there and you have a whole, big shindig. And by the way, these prices are per night because they're all inclusive. I mean, like literally a chef shows up. I mean, guys, there's places all over the place. This is Little Bay. I mean, the Dominican Republic. I mean, some of these places, look, 28 guests. These are fantastic because they're taken care of from start to finish. What I'd recommend you do for this, because the way it happened for me was when I got to the airport, someone, picked us up. It was me and a business partner. We got picked up, and then we went to the property. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, it was quiet, reserved, gated area. I mean, it was absolutely beautiful. And yeah, properties like this, absolutely beautiful. And you get all these benefits, right? So you get like, I don't know where it is on the website. I haven't been here and probably, haven't been on this website probably in a few years. So they give you they'll customize it. You'll even get someone like, who's going to walk you through the entire setup, start to finish. They're going to give you someone that's going to work with you, a manager on the entire experience. This is more of a very experience-driven thing. So guys, keep this in mind. There's a lot of properties that are sitting, even luxury properties. Luxury properties take about 1 year to 2 years or more, over a year to sell oftentimes, right? And they just sit there. So sometimes you could actually, if depending on what market you're in, if it's in a busy market, you could actually partner up with someone who maybe is not in the country right now, or whatever their situation is, whatever the property owner's situation is. You can actually partner up and do this kind of scenario. We can talk about more of that here in the near future, maybe more in depth on how to build these conversations. And another thing too, guys, what I want you to do is after this live is over, if you jump over to our YouTube and you watch this video, in the description, I'm going to put a link up there where you can go and you can download some scripts that I've used to help work with the owner, like what to say to the owner of the property. This is if you want to get into a property that is already furnished and has a property owner, but they're absentee. They're not around. They're maybe in a different country, or they're working somewhere else, and whatever the case. And the good thing with more high-end properties, they're normally furnished. They're normally already furnished. So there's more opportunity there. On the properties that are on the, let's say, lower end, maybe anywhere between, I would say $700 a month to $3,000 a month, somewhere, in that range. Normally those properties don't come furnished, so you would have to furnish them. And there's other ways of doing that too. You don't have to, you could partner up with the landowner and split it 50-50. You could go for a small microloan to get that done. Whatever it is. I mean, you could go with the SBA and get a loan from them. I mean, there's many different options. I know a lot of people right now are getting, stimulus money, and that could be, venture money. There's also many platforms online. There's also credit cards with no interest for a year. I mean, also furniture stores do, what do they do that? Like no credit, no interest for a year, no payments for a year, that kind of stuff, like credit extensions. So there's that also. There's many different options. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? So there's many different options to get started in this type of business with little to no money out of your pocket. Now I want to share with you a reference. Okay, let me change my screen here. Now I want to share with you a website that works really well. It's in the United States. Unfortunately, I can't use this in Portugal or Uganda, but it's called airdna.co, not .com, .co, .co. So airdna.co. I know a few of my coaching clients use this website, but this is great for property managers, real estate investors, and tourism boards. Primarily, I use it with my clients, so we're real estate investors. And this gives you all the information. It's so powerful that gives you the information about the market for rentals of what's happening. A lot of their data comes from Knight Frank, which is like one of the biggest data houses out there. So they have most of the data of people and property, okay, and what's going on in the area. So this gives you graphs. It tells you what markets are hot or what markets are not hot for short-term rentals. They have what's called a market minder. All you have to do is type in your city, your neighborhood, a postal code. Okay, I'm going to type in an old postal code, 02720, Fall River, Massachusetts. All right. Oh, I don't even know if this will work because, guys, unfortunately, I can't even use this software because I don't have any short-term rentals in the United States. But as you can see, here's an example of what it would show you potential revenue, okay? And as you can see, it's kind of blurred out right now, but let me see how far I can get. Okay, there you go. It costs about $20 a month, and you can see what the revenue would be, right? If you had, here's what an estimated occupancy. I mean, this goes so deep. I would recommend maybe start a trial, see if you like it. I know all my clients who are in short-term rentals or even medium rentals as well, they use this platform and they absolutely love it. It's like essential for their business. So it's airdna.co. Okay, check that out. Now, here's a resource I want to give you in case you're looking for absentee owners that have property that maybe they have rented before, that maybe they don't live there, but it is a rental, but they're doing long-term rental and not short-term rental. This is called listsource.com. And what you want to do is go under listsource.com. By the way, this is owned and run by CoreLogic. They're like literally they're like the best. They're like the top 3 of data in the United States, okay? And they will be able to get you this information. You can get this is called basically list brokerage. And on here, you will be able to get data from the owner who owns the property, their mailing address, how many bathrooms, and all that stuff. You'll be able to narrow this data down to exactly the type of properties you want, single family, multi-families, all that kind of stuff. What I would recommend you do is not jump in here alone. Get on the phone with someone, the list brokers, they have a support number. Get on the phone with them and talk to them about how you can get started at getting a list. And then after you get a list, you'd want to do a direct mail piece to these people and say, hey, have you ever considered, doing, renting, considered doing short-term rentals with your property? We're a property management company, yada, yada, yada. Now, guys, if you're probably thinking like, oh my gosh, how would I do that, Nathan? This is like way too much. It's okay. Listen, this is a good starting point. We could go very deep into that. We can't go all into it today. But if you go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel while you're there. By the way, if you want to know, Nathan, what's your YouTube channel? Very easily. Go to YouTube, type in Fearless Millionaire. It'll come right up. Blue diamond, you'll see it. So subscribe to the channel, and in day 7, in the description, I'm going to put some links in there that you can get you some of these resources. And I'll give you my scripts that I use to work with property owners and how to build a relationship and see if they want to do a partnership with you if you're starting with no money, or you can use the properties you already have or your home, whatever you want to do for short-term rentals. Okay, so this gives you a marketing avenue to reach those kinds of people if you wanted to pick up properties. Of course, there's other ways you could do this too. There's also locally, you could do it through a real estate agent or networking, or even property managers already might have connections to absentee landlords and stuff like that. So there's another opportunity there too. Now, I want to just transition just for a few minutes though, because I know this came up in a few emails about, medium and long-term rentals. When you're doing medium rentals, okay, medium is like 6 months. So it doesn't kind of fall in the line of short-term rentals of like, a week, 2, or a month. Okay. Medium rentals are 6 months on average. Okay. So it could be 3 months, 3 to 6 or 3 to 8. Long-term rentals is already a year. Okay. That's when you go to a 1-year lease contract. Medium rentals is going to be anywhere between 3 to maybe, let's just say 11 months. Okay. So those are more medium rentals. And that happens very often. I think a lot of people don't know about this market here because a lot of people are in transition for work, especially in this generation with millennials. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, like, Nathan, no one is traveling right now. No one is moving around, right? That's very true. One of the things medium rentals just came up more recently is because of COVID-19, where some doctors or nurses were being relocated to certain areas and they needed a place to stay. Well, that's not a weekend stay or a week stay. That's more of a medium-term rental. And this can happen with different scenarios. Especially medium rentals is really popular in major cities where there's an executive coming in for a period of time. This is also known as corporate housing, and normally it's temporary, fully furnished, temporary. I want to give you a few resources for medium and long-term rentals right now, okay? Just a few resources. Number one, you have to screen your tenants, okay? You have to screen your tenants. I'm going to show you a DIY version of screening your tenants, but I also, sorry guys, I'm over here. I should pay attention to me over here. Pay attention to me. I'm going to show you just a bit here of how you can DIY this stuff, but I don't recommend it. Okay, I recommend that if you're going to get tenants that are long-term or medium, you should have a third-party company help you do this, especially if you've never done this before. This is not about posting that you have a property for rent on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. You should have a professional company who knows how to screen and vet clients for you on your behalf. And they also take the liability, okay? If you're a real estate investor and you're just getting started this, if you've never done this before, there are laws that you have to abide by. And you may not know those laws, okay, in the beginning. So you don't really want to go at this on your own. Remember how I said that a few days ago? Don't do this business alone. Bring in partners, build a relationship with other companies to help you do this. Yes, they will take a portion for their service fee, but it helps you successfully do the business properly. So a typical way people mostly go through is like they'll go to like something like TransUnion and they'll start giving you a service of do it yourself, screen your tenants. I don't recommend that. I'm showing you this website and there's others that allow you to do it yourself. I don't recommend that. But again, you're taking on the liability when you do that. There's companies out there like Avail, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not too sure. Avail, it could be Avail, but I've heard it pronounced a few different ways. And this is an upcoming growing website that is getting more popularity for landlords. But one of the more bigger ones that most people use is cozy.co, okay, cozy.co. And they have a much larger customer base right now, and they help you from they really help landlords, such as, marketing your property, which is great, helping you choose the right tenants, never worrying about the rent because they can pay online and do automatic bill and late fees. Cozy's really good at this. Again, they allow you to take more control of it for yourself and your business. But again, there are property management companies that can handle this part for you if you've never done it before. So if you've never done this before, there are service providers who can help you to take care of this stuff, because it can be a bit much in the beginning, and you want to make sure that you abide by the laws. Okay, that's really important. All right, good stuff. Was it helpful? Did you enjoy that? Short-term rentals, medium-term rentals, good stuff. All right, so let me check. I don't think we have any questions because I don't know if we have any. Oh, okay, mid to short-term rentals. Yeah, no. If you guys have any other questions, you can throw it in the comments. Like I said, if you have questions along the way, you can throw it in as I go along. But looks like we got no questions today. By the way, if you have any questions even after the live, that's okay. Throw it in the comments anyway, and we will get to you guys. It's always a great time having you here and going. Where's my stuff? I can't even see you now. Where did you go? Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely good to, whoops. Definitely good to bring this stuff to you guys. It's so cool how so many people are, becoming more interested. And let me tell you this, I'll actually wrap it up with this last few comments here. Most people are wondering right now because of COVID, if, should I wait for getting into short-term rentals? What should I do? Should I wait? Should I, jump in now? I would say this, if you're just getting started, prepare yourself. Don't wait for COVID to end, okay? Don't wait. Just start preparing yourself, get in the mode. Maybe now you're already building your relationships. If you want to build partners, then you're already building your relationships. You're already building your relationships with landowners to get these types of properties. And if not, then you can wait it out, but I don't recommend it. It's better. What you want to do in any type of crisis is you want to plow through it. You don't want to just sit on the sidelines and wait for everything to pass. There's a time where you sit and wait. I think Warren Buffett said it there's a time in investing where when everybody's getting greedy, you get fearful, right? Because greed can, bring out the worst in a market. And then when everybody is fearful, get greedy. And what he means by that is when there's fear in the market and, things are tanking, like just a few weeks ago, right? There was a big fear in the market and everything was tanking down. What he means by saying get greedy is go on a buying spree, right? That's the time to buy. And then when everybody, gets greedy and things are going amazingly well, maybe that's a time to pull back, right? And just wait for something to happen, right? So there's a lot of fear in the market right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. It's a little chaotic, but that doesn't mean you should stop or at least pursue more real estate investing. So to help you in the next, 6 months from now, a year from now, 10 years from now, you got to start sooner than later, and don't put this off because it can help build your life. Guys, it's always so great to be with you during this time that we always have together. And but where is that? I don't know. I can't even see it. What is going on right now? All right, good stuff. So until next time, make sure you make it a great day. Love you guys. Take care.